Hi, I'm on this video. There we go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, bro. Welcome back to more Geometry. This is something I haven't done in a hot minute. However, the man, the myth, the legend himself, EVW, he is going to be beating Erebus next. He hasn't really announced it yet, but he said, go ahead, make the video. He talked about it at the end of his Yatagarasu video. So we're going to be doing this. Erebus is one of the RGB. He wants to beat all three of them. So I guess I got to do this with Erebus and eventually Sonic Wave as well. But this is the level that I'm going to make a video on for Eric with the largest gap between me beating it and me actually making the video. So I actually had to like properly relearn this level, figure out all my strats again. So I don't even think my tips and tricks for this video are going to align with what I originally did. Even just to begin with, I like to hold to begin with here and align with the little circle thing where you go up, you release, so you can go late on that. Just for consistency, right? It's just one of those things where having the proper alignment to begin with just makes it much easier to do the first thing. It's all just preference. You can also go from the bottom. I just personally find that I align with this portal much easier if I go at the top here. And then you get into this wave, which is all just muscle memory, wave, skill stuff. You don't really have to think much about it. You're just going to get good at it eventually, right? A lot of Erebus is very much just purely skill-based. There's very little setup for a lot of things, right? It's just be good at ship, be good at wave, be good at timings, and you're going to be fine. But there are certain things that you can definitely get or need tips for. There's an invisible platform here. I would just recommend hitting it and then going. Do like 3 clicks. Just wait for yourself to land on the platform. Just like physically wait until you see yourself stop midair. And then go through like that. And then pro tip, don't be bad at wave. Now this is the first part of the level where I would say that there's like genuine proper setup. The pre-drop of this level, you just get very consistent at it. It's mostly just skill based. But here, after each and every single one of these like small robot jumps, you could just buffer. So you could just do that, and then hit that, buffer that, right? So first you got to go a little bit late. But if you jump too early here, you're gonna die to this click anyway. As you see there, I buffered it, meaning I clicked it at the earliest possible time, and I still died to the top. So you just have to go a little bit late. You could probably align with the red circle in here. And as long as you buffer the first, the green orbs, should be fine. The second orb is always a late timing. But it's not too bad, right? And then you do 3 clicks here. On the third one, you just hold so you can hit the green orb. But I would practice this robot a lot. This robot is fairly difficult, in all honesty. So just get comfortable with it. Practice, nail in those buffer times, and it should be all fine, honestly. And for this strafe fly, I would recommend the exact same thing as I did with the first strafe fly, because there is a block for a recorrectional click. So I would just buffer those two as good as you can. Wait for your ship to land so you can visibly see that you have landed, and then start strafe flying. That's what I find the most comfortably, personally. It's a fairly okay beginning, the pre-drop. Or the beginning of Erebus is just a few things of setup, but mostly it's just pure skill. So whether or not you're good at ship and wave is going to be the determining factor of whether or not you're going to be struggling with it. It's not too bad, but it takes a little bit of know-how, but it gets very consistent. And then we get into the Erebus equivalent of the radioactive hell on Earth. This part. This part is just really hard. You just gotta nail it in. There's a few visual cues that you can use. I personally like using this like circle deco. To do these first 3 clicks in the ball, you just kind of like align your ball with this and go 1, 2, 3. Then you wait a little bit of time. And it's just a bunch of really late timings for the most part. Like this pink orb, for instance, infamously really hard. It's not as hard in 2.2 from what I know because of jump height. So lucky. But it is mostly just late timings, which Eric is generally pretty good at, so it shouldn't be a big deal, right? Here again, there's an invisible platform. Just wait until you physically land, then 1, 2, 3. You can also do 1, 2 if you prefer that. I always preferred 1, 2, 3 personally. And there's just a bunch of really late timings. like that. Skip this pink orb, land on top of this block. 1, 2, 3. Hit that. 1, 2. And then for the memory, there are a few things that you can look out for. I jump immediately, jump there, hit that blue orb, and then you fall down to this block, hit the green orb. And then for this block right here, you micro click this blue orb so you can land on this block. And then I like personally to jump from this block, but late. You have to like hit it, slide onto the corner of it, and then jump. Like that. That's what always worked for me personally. There's like a billion ways to do this memory. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. There's like genuinely 20 different ways that you can do this part. So you just gotta figure out what works for you the best. But for me, that's what worked. I think it's pretty fair. The only issue with it, if I can even call it an issue, is the fact that you can jump too early and hit this spike that I just hit. But overall, it's not that big of an issue, right? And then for this part, what you want to do is you want to hold after the blue orb until your bottom cube has jumped once. Because what you want is for the bottom cube to jump while the bottom cube falls. So you have to be like very precise with it. I pay attention to the top cube, and once it has fallen down one block, I tap, tap, hold. Like that. Right? And what I like to do personally is try and aim for the middle of the blue orb. Like that. Not like that. I died. But what you want is to be as in the middle of the blue orb as possible so you can hit this block. Right? From what I know, this part got updated in 2.2, so it's not as bad as it used to be. But for the most part, it's just a little bit of know-how. Hold, tap, tap, hold, click. And then you're through. It's not as bad as it looks. It used to be way worse. Maybe I've just gotten good. I don't know. But to me, it feels way easier than it used to. You just gotta make sure the alignments are fine. Then we get into the drop. I personally like doing 2 clicks. You go 1, 2, hold into the wave, fall down. For this green orb, you can kind of choose whether or not, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure here. You hold 1, 2. This blue orb is abysmal, by the way. You choose whether or not you hit that blue orb. It kind of, I would recommend hitting it just because this can happen. If you hit this green orb late though, you don't actually have to hit anything else. Oh wait, no, you're supposed to click it early. No, you're supposed to click it perfectly. Okay, hit the blue orb. When I was relearning, I did not have any issues with that at all. And you want to hold after the blue orb, because if not, you're gonna get sloped. If I just tap it like that, there's a chance that you don't live. But if you... Oh my god, I'm contradicting myself like 50 times over. Okay, so apparently this part is just really inconsistent. You just gotta figure out whatever works for you, I guess. Okay, so apparently you just tap it. Like that. That strafe fly doesn't have a block unlike every other strafe fly, so you just gotta strafe fly into it. It's not too bad. Then we get into this ship part. With this ship part, what I would recommend doing is do 2 clicks to get into it, and then just kind of figure out what works for you. I like doing 1, 2, so you can get like in between here, fall in between here, and then you just kind of like recorrect the way that you find the most comfortable for you personally. Whether that is 5 clicks, 10 clicks, 3 clicks, doesn't really matter. I would just recommend the 1, 2 into here, just so you get into the part properly, and then you just kind of freestyle it. Not really freestyle it, but just figure out what kind of pattern that works for you so you can consistently pass through this, because this ship part is pretty hard. But it's mostly fine. It's just a matter of practice. You'll get it eventually. But I do recommend the 2-click into it method just for consistency, because it's very easy to just click a little bit too much and end up hitting the spikes or the saw blades furthest to the right, which is frustrating. So doing less clicks makes it easier. What the hell? How did I die to that? Anyway, for this click, you just want to go as late as possible. And that as late as possible is ridiculously late. This duel is fairly easy. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of alignments with structures here, which is very nice. For the first one, you want to align with this green thing right here. Just jump at that. And then for this click, you want to align so that you click as soon as you pass this like green pillar structure. If I can do my alignments correctly, that'd be great. Sucking ass. Like that. Those are buffers. That green orb is also a buffer. So what I like doing here is just 1, 2, 1, 2. Hit that and then buffer that green orb. And then you should be fine. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hold, click, hold. And then ball click is ball click. It's not too bad. And then, of course, the last jump. Overall, this level is not all too bad. I'm not gonna lie. It has mostly just raw skill-based stuff, right? And I like to think that Eric is pretty good at that stuff. It's one of those things where it's just like, if you're good, and you're gonna be chilling. There's a few things of setup that make certain things more consistent, and those are the things that I wanted to point out here. But yeah, good luck. I believe you can do it. It's definitely not gonna take as long as Yatagarasu, I'm gonna be real. I feel like your strengths lie in just the raw skill of it, and you're gonna be breezing through this level. I think this is gonna be fairly easy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, best of luck, Eric. You got it, I believe. And I'll see you guys later at some point, probably, right? Join Discord, watch the streams, and I'll see you guys later.